Let's bring in the president of the National Border Patrol Council, Paul Perez, and the CEO of the civil rights group, the League of United Latin American Citizens, Juan Proano. Juan Proano.
That's right, Chris.
Proano. All right, good. I got it. Perez and Proano sound like a law firm. Mr. Perez, I will have it be known to my audience that I've spent a lot of time at the Border Patrol. There is no entity of law enforcement I have more respect for. I've seen the men and women who police the border because of ethnic identity, heritage, lived experience, what they give of themselves, the frustrations they feel. I know it. I know that they're not stormtroopers. I get it. How do you feel about the position that this administration is putting them in, putting border people into cities to face these crowds and face these high arrest counts of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a day?
Look, Chris, thanks for having me. And I can speak to exactly what you're talking about, but I want to touch on something first. We in the border communities, we are the ones that dealt with what was going on for the 4 years where President Biden and his administration allowed millions of people to come across. So what we're doing now, our agents, we secured the border. The Border Patrol secured the border quicker than anybody ever thought we could because we wanted to do the job, and now we're allowed to do it. Now, going out into the cities, we've never been told that we have a quota of 3,000 per day. What we're doing out there is targeted enforcement. They brought us out there to help ICE out because, I mean, let's face it, the Border Patrol's job is far more complex and far more difficult than that of an ICE officer. And ICE being our partner agency, I have a ton of respect for them. But Border Patrol's training is a lot more in depth. We're a lot better equipped and better trained to do interior enforcement. And so that's why our agents are out there doing the job. Now, what you see in all these videos, a lot of people get angry and upset because of what they're seeing. But what the story doesn't show is that these agitators, these antagonists are not the people that we're going after to arrest. These are people that are impeding, they're interfering with our lawful right to enforce the laws that are on the books. And that's why the optics that you're talking about are showing that we're in a riot situation almost everywhere and almost every day. But it's not because of the illegal aliens that we're going after. It's because of the agitators and antagonists that we're having to battle every single day.
I get it. I get it. But, you know, look, there is something to be said for how the policy is enforced, and the president wants this muscularity of response. That is his choice, but let's evaluate the choice. Mr. Proano, Mr. Proano, the reason that people are out in the streets is that there is a common feeling that not everyone who comes into the country the wrong way is a bad hombre, to use the president's vernacular, and that there are being people taken out of communities, sometimes because of the pressure of the numbers, whether or not, with deference to Mr. Perez, all officers feel that way or not. They're grabbing a lot of people that weren't expected to be grabbed, and they're doing it in ways that people aren't used to seeing. Does that capture what people are upset about?
I would agree. And I would agree with your comments wholeheartedly, Chris, when you opened up this program. You know, this is really tearing apart our country. It's tearing apart the fabric of our country. And it's really trying to separate our communities. What you see in Chicago, you see people standing up for their neighbors, for their brothers, for their sisters, for their children in some cases. And then you see these really terrible photos of these agitators, as Paul was talking about. But the fact of the matter is most of the immigrants are here. They're honest people, they're earnest people, they're hardworking people, and they serve a very particular and important function that helps drive this economy. The United States cannot be the engine of growth that it is without immigrants that do jobs that no one else will actually do. And Border Patrol and some of the enforcement actions have gone just too far. There's no reason why we should be pushing women or beating folks in some cases when they're exercising their right to freedom of speech, their freedom to assembly, and all we're asking for is our civil rights to be protected and due process to also be protected as well.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.